What's happening? I'm Michael and this is Budget Builds. Welcome back, or if you're new to this channel, we save rusty, crusty old cars from junkyards and scrapyards and places like that. What's happening, Budget Builders? We're back from our cruise. We had an awesome time. I'm sure you can tell, I gained a little bit of weight. But we're back and we're ready to get back on all these projects and everything. Today we're going to go ahead and start back on this Rabbit pickup truck. Let's get these tires aired up. Let's get this thing pulled back. We're going to start doing some cleaning on the interior, some more on the outside, and get under that engine bay. I don't know who put that truck up against the wall so tight. So I'm sure you probably already see it. One thing that we're doing to this interior is I found this dash. See how good a shape this thing is in. Ended up paying $75 for this thing. But first thing we're going to do is go ahead and climb into this interior, start pulling it out. Although I would consider putting carpet in it. Most of the time the carpet that you get is real hard to shape and you got to cut it out and everything. First I'm going to try to pull this out. We're going to try to pressure wash it, clean it up, see how it comes out and see what it looks like. But let's go ahead and get started. Alright, now that we got it back down in the driveway, I would love to go ahead and get started on the timing belt and stuff, but I had to order it and it'll be in roughly the first of next week. So I've got a lot of stuff coming for that. We'll dig into that very shortly. But while we've got it sitting out here, let's go ahead and dig into this interior and get it looking a little bit better. Go ahead and get this dash pulled. We'll start with pulling the seats. We'll pull this little center console doohickey here. We'll pull the dash so we can get the new one put in. And go ahead and pull this carpet and see if it'll clean up at all. If it doesn't, obviously we'll just go ahead and plan on putting another carpet in it. But it's worth a try. Like I said, the new ones aren't quite shaped near as good. And you got to cut the holes out. And they just never turn out quite right, especially with the different colors. The last one I had was black, and so it kind of all blended in. Didn't really notice it that bad, but this one I think is going to look a little odd if I try to put another one. We may end up trying to dye it too. I'm not sure yet. But to begin with, let's go and get these seats out. On the front, you've got a little Allen, I think it's a 5mm Allen with a little 10mm nut on it. You pop that off and then you slide the seats all the way back. They come out of their clips and we'll pop them right on out. All right, now we got our seats out and Charlie's testing them out. He's not feeling too good today, but he's hanging out with Daddy for a little bit. Nothing really special back here, but just a big old mess. So we'll pop these couple little bits and pieces off here and go ahead and start working at getting this dash pulled off so we can start seeing about getting the new one replaced. So this is the first early Mark I dash that I have pulled, so I'm figuring some things out here, learning some stuff. So I started pulling the screws off the bottom. I'm sure you saw me doing that, but it actually turns out right here on the side, you come up from underneath and you've got two 10 millimeters on each side, and this whole thing just kind of pops down, and then you unplug your stuff for the cigarette lighter and ashtray there. But we're gonna go ahead and I'll get this pulled. We'll see about popping these vents. Then we got to pull the radio, and you pull all the knobs off of the AC controls and everything. And I think there's a screw that comes in from the side inside. I'll show you in a second here, and then we'll be able to pop that dash out of there and see if we can get the whole thing pulled out. Get that off. Yeah, we gotta. Even though I've got this screw, this screw, this screw, the three in the bottom there, this might fight you a little bit. Oh, but there's one right there. We'll get that popped off, and it should let us get the sucker pulled out. List some of them. What do you think? I mean, whatever you think. All right, so got this popped out. As you saw, there's a little bolt right here. You gotta be sure to take your speedometer cable off, and then it's just a bunch of plugs. And as you saw, this thing popped off that AC control, but thankfully I've got an extra one from our parts truck that we were able to get. And I'll post a picture up here of that parts truck. As I'll get this cover popped off, let's go ahead and drop this column down where we can get this dash up and out of here. I did go and take these two screws out, so this sucker's hanging loose. Sarah was in this truck at some point in time. Looks like a few 6mm Allens we got to pull off there. Here and here. All right. All right, so after some persuasion, we got this dash pulled out of here. You see we got a few hose and stuff hanging around, but honestly, in the realm of pulling dashes out, not the worst dash to pull out. Let's go ahead and see if we can get this carpet pulled out. As you can see, we got the 17mm bolts that take off the seatbelts here. We'll go ahead and let those hang up. We got these custom rods that hold up the headliner. And I do need to go ahead and drop that headliner and get it re-glued back to the board. And then we got a couple clips back here. There's a few random clips up front. Let's go to see if we can get those popped off real quick so we can get this sucker pulled out of here. All right, so trial and error. That carpet's just a little bit harder than I thought it would be to pop right out. It's got more glue on it than I thought it would, or remembered it having. So what I'm gonna try to do, we're gonna get the vacuum cleaner out here. We're gonna go to town. I'm gonna go inside. I'm gonna jack my wife's steam cleaner, and let's see how it does. It might do okay, it might not. But I think with it really cleaned up well and some new floor mats, I think it'll look pretty good. But let's see how it does. Alright, y'all. So it's not perfect. Still got a little bit of grime and stuff, but I think as it dries it'll look even better. But you got to do what you got to do when you're on a budget. I think this is one way to bring a little bit of life back into it. We'll go ahead and put new floor mats in it, or try to find some new old stock ones that'll also help a little bit. But it's a start, and I think it'll make a big difference in here, especially with the smell. So now we just need to work on getting the dash cleaned up, buttoning everything back up under here, and let's see if we can go to stick that new dash up in here.
Yeah, baby. You gotta hire a different photographer. Phone with.
I got the car, Mommy. Is that a big car? Or is that a big car?
Is it a big car?
Yeah, that's a big car.
Alright, so we're in the future.
Why not?
And here it is. Hopefully the lighting's alright. But tell me what you guys think. I think it came out pretty well. I tried to snap my fingers like the other YouTubers do, and nothing happened. Well, kinda nothing. But I think it came out looking pretty well. Still got a little bit more work that I need to do to the driver's seat. That's why we don't have it in yet. But I personally think it cleaned up really nice. But you guys tell me what you think. Let's I got a plan for this driver's seat. Let's see what we can do with it. See if we can get it back in here. Alright, y'all, so here's that driver's seat. And as you remember, it looked a little rough. So what I'm going to try to do is that parts truck that I pulled out had that pretty seat in it. we'll see how the vinyl looks underneath. I need to clean it up a little bit, but I think it's going to be okay. So what I'm going to try to do is I'm going to attempt to pull this seat apart, pull that one apart. We're going to pull the bottom off of this one and also the bottom off of that one. And then we'll try to swap them out and see how we can make it look. Alright, so as you can see with this thing laid over, looks like you've got a little band here that we got to pull off. I think this thing just comes out of the guide in here. I'm not really sure. I'm just going to start tearing it apart and see what happens with it. Try not to completely destroy it. Obviously, you've got a clip on this side for that back that we have to pull off, and one on this side. So let's go ahead and start tearing into this thing, seeing if we can get it pulled apart so we can start pulling that bottom off. Alright, now it's not by any means perfect. I need to get some more conditioner in the bottom, and I think it'll soften up a little bit better. What do you guys think? She's a little saggy in the back here where the cardboard had deteriorated. But overall, sitting on there pretty nice and pretty tight. So let's go ahead and get it stuck in the truck real quick and see how it looks. All right, what do you guys think? Hopefully the lighting you can see okay, but what you think of the refreshed interior on this truck for virtually nothing other than that dash? Just a lot of tearing apart and cleaning work, and I'm pretty happy with it. I guess, trying to do stuff on a budget, and this is one way to do it. Now that we've gotten that going, I know y'all want to see it. Let's get that ugly front bumper off of this thing. I think there's 17mm bolts on either side, then the plugs for the turn signals. And that should be it. Let's jack her up and pop it off. Woohoo! At least you got plenty of room on this side. Not. All right, there we go. She is bumperless, and I'd say looks a lot better. Tell me what y'all think. Well, I got this sucker up on the air. I got a couple wheels that I had laying around in the garage that I want to try on it. Let's pop them on real quick and see how they look. I want to get a opinion from you guys. Tell me what y'all think, if you think they look good, or maybe we should go another route. Well, there it is. If you're asking yourself, are those Steelies, then you'd be right. These are some factory Volkswagen wheels that were ordered from the factory at some point in time. Pretty cool, kind of different. That's kind of my style. I like stuff that's different. But tell me what you guys think. I personally think they're a little bland on this truck, but they might look better with some tires on them. But that's going to wrap it up for this episode. Coming up very soon, we've got all the parts coming in to get up underneath that hood and really get that engine running nice and smooth and just the way it should. So we're going to dig into that here real shortly. If you guys want to see more on this and other builds that we have, be sure to hit the subscribe button and that notification bell, and we really do appreciate it. We'll catch you on the flip side.